Hi, everyone, and happy VPR Radio Thursday. We've got our wine. This is reminding me of our studio days, right? Our humble beginnings in Brooklyn. It's your girl, Kiana the Goddess. I'm here with the one and only DJ FMI. How are you, partner?
I'm feeling good, Kiana. Like I told you before we started up the stream yard. I feel great today, VPR. You know, some days are better than others. I just got an energy to win, and it feels good. But yes, it does bring us back to our days in our earlier studio with the wine.
And the
days
fruit.
that I miss, the fruit, the cheeses, the things that we brought into that studio.
Yes.
Now,
Yo,
other than
and
the great energy.
it's such an experience that no guest has ever forgotten about it. Whenever I speak to a guest that has had the in studio experience, they always ask that about it. They're like, "Yo, you're the only one I ever went to where you got the wine, you got the fruit." I'm like, "Yo, we don't play games. We are the host and hostess with the mostest."
Yeah, we try our best there. We want people to feel at home.
Yeah.
Like I always bring this up with Kiana. I don't know if we ever spoke about it on air, but when we had the event at the Milk River Lounge, was it at that time? I know it's closed down.
Yeah.
I think it was off Atlantic.
Yep.
When we had a guest that we were getting ready to interview live, VPR, and I've seen Kiana was the first person that noticed that she was a little bit finicky. And when I watched you walk over Kiana and just sat down with her, spoke with her, and made her feel comfortable before, we started up on set. All the lights are on them, VPR, and I'm looking at this lady. I'm just like, this is my realm. I'm used to being on camera, good or bad. This comes with the territory. So it just brings me back to that moment. You making her feel comfortable, and we just giving that same experience to all of our other guests. That's A1. VPR Radio.
You make me remember that, and it just makes me feel so much better about our show. I remember when we had our birthday dinner, and Velvet asked us, like, what's your favorite memory about each other? And
oh, yeah.
So whenever you mention that, it just touches me so much. I remember that lady, and she was literally like, she was about to have a serious anxiety attack. And having anxiety, I related it. And I just needed her to know, like, me and FMI, we're a whole vibe. So when you sit with us, you can feel good. And you remember how relaxed she was through the interview.
Yes.
And
hopefully we can reach back out to her, because I know at that time she had hats. She did personal designs with hats.
Yes.
Reach back out to her. But Kiana, it has been a slow news week this week with just music dropping. Of course, we had NBA Youngboy dropping his album. I'm not the biggest NBA Youngboy fan. I feel like, he drops a lot of music quickly.
Right.
And I can't just the project like I want to. But in other news, out of New York, the famous rapper Chef G has just been taken down in a indictment upon him and 30 other gang members out of Brooklyn, 9 Trey and 8-Way. And it's sad. It's sad. Again, I find myself here every week to 2 weeks talking about another indictment.
Agreed.
And weekly speaking about snitching.
Or a RICO charge. Yeah.
Or RICO charge. And, I'm going to ask you something, VPR, and I'm going to ask Kiana also while we're on here. It sucks, me personally feeling this way. It sucks that I feel in hip hop or just within our culture that we have to do such demonstrative things, and we continue to do those behaviors even though we see the outcome time and time again, and we see how it's tearing apart our communities, but we still champion the music. So while watching the Chef G situation, people got harmed, shots were fired. They have a lot of it on video, and they released the video of him and his confidants doing crimes, and it's just sad. All these guys, I looked at all 32 of them. The NYPD came out and said we had a case with 200 to 300 more people.
Jeez.
But we just wanted to focus on these 32 VPR. And when you look at the mugshots of all of them on the wall, I'm watching all 32 of these young black men and women, and I'm just like, it looks like a high school picture. They're so young.
And
so young.
Younger and
How
younger.
You doing, Loria?
Hey, Lori. Beautiful, beautiful Lori. It's so sad because, and we talk about this all the time, right? Our community, especially of young people of color in general, men and women alike, are so stigmatized, right? So when we look at the hip hop culture, which is an entire culture, right? It's not just the music itself. Hip hop is a culture.
Yeah.
Hip hop is a lifestyle. And we don't have to equate a hip hop culture or lifestyle with gangster, right? Like that is one.
And violence, man.
Right.
Like,
And but are those facets of hip hop? Yes, we have gangster rap. We have different types of hip hop rap, right? Hip hop is like the mother, if you will, right? And then there's all these like subdivisions because you've got conscious rap. You've got all different types of music that hits under the hip hop umbrella. And I'm just so tired of seeing us, like you said, constantly perpetuating and repeating this sort of thing and people either winding up killed or in jail. It's really sad and it has to stop.
yeah, just with their case, I know they were running down and allegedly Chef G's house was shot at in Jersey, and he just moved. So he was trying to figure out who shot at his house. Only one person knew where he lived, so he went to go deal with that person. And while doing that, in the middle of Flatbush on Church Avenue, if anybody know Church Avenue, Flatbush, New York, it's packed, it's heavy. You're gonna see your
Always.
grandma pushing a stroller. So what
Facts.
happened allegedly that I
Or
seen on
shopping
camera,
cart. Yeah.
or shopping cart,
Facts.
a 45-year-old individual male that didn't have anything to do with it, he got shot in the leg, and a home health aide was
No.
pushing a person with a cane, the walking cane.
Come on
She was
now.
helping her and assisting her. She got hit,
That's terrible. They're
and
not
that's
even
why
scared enough to be taking bullets. Like, stop it. This is terrible.
and that's why they came down very hard on them. And when you see innocent bystanders getting hit on video,
Yeah.
they got video of them shooting on Church Avenue in Flatbush, to them driving down the highway to the city, to them leaving the car in the city, to them getting in the Uber to go to his house. And it's bad.
And that's really crazy.
It is bad.
I saw, the level of violence and like lack of care and discipline is very, very prevalent. This is a while back, maybe over a year ago, but I saw a shooting that literally happened across the street from a school, and a police car was right there with cops in it, and they just went ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like they don't care. Be careful out here because this type of stuff is catastrophic. Nobody, you guys have your own beef. Okay, you want to handle street beef? Handle your street beef on your turf, on your terms. There should not be innocent bystanders getting hit, having their lives compromised. There's children that's out, that's playing. Like
A 45-year-old got shot, and then the part that kills me, VPR, hear me out. So after the crime was committed, they got all their text messages texting back and forth. Yo, I gotta have you scrub the car. Yo, send Shorty back to go do this. You and Brim go do that. The worst part is, one of the females was texting one of the shooters and said, "Hey, you guys didn't hit your target. You hit a male and a female, like an old lady."
Oh, guilty.
And his response was, "Oh nah, we were aiming at who we was aiming at, but that pussy nigga pushed the old lady in front of the bullet."
What?
So VPR, it's on video. Y'all could go look it up on the internet. Y'all don't need me.
This is
VPR. This man lied on the guy that he was chasing,
right?
Just to seem tougher to this person he was speaking to.
Right.
The guy didn't push no lady in front of him. The guy was nowhere to be found. He was running.
Right. He just doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah, he just didn't want to look crazy when the person asked him why you missed your target.
Right.
They got it on video.
But
you missed your target.
2 other people, which also says a lot, right? Because like, if you're going to be a shooter, shouldn't you know how to shoot? Right? Like, we got people out here with guns. You don't even know how to shoot so that you can actually. And I'm not, about preponderating violence or anything like that, but I'm just saying, if you're after someone to shoot them, you should know how to shoot. Right? There's been no practice. You just have a gun in your hand and you're out there wild west.
VPR, while I got your attention, let me put the cherry on top. So the way they connected this whole crime was after them shooting in Flatbush, speeding through the BQE into Manhattan through the tunnel, all on camera, parked up the car and they left. The cops found the car 2 days later, and they still didn't know all the information yet, VPR. And what they did was they looked at the truck and said, "Yo, something familiar about this car." It was the same rental car that they used for the video shoot. He rented the same car that he went to go do a crime with, that he had documented in his video shoot. And the cops put 1 and 2 together after like, "Hey, we know this car from somewhere. We can't figure it out." It took them a week and they figured it out by watching the music video.
For crying out loud. So you can't shoot and you don't know how to commit crimes. Maybe this is not the life for you.
Well, it's too late to decide that now. You know what I mean? You got
Right,
30,
right,
32 people
right,
in jail, and more to
right.
come. And
I'll
you
think.
know, it all connects. VPR, guns in America, whatever you want to say. And the next story is much of the same. I'm just gonna show you this video. I'm pretty sure anybody on VPR, if you've been online lately, you would have seen this video here come up a lot. And I just want to discuss it with Kiana so we can. So Kiana, do you know what the video I'm showing you?
No.
So this is the famous basketball player John Morant. I know we
Oh,
spoke
the
about
one
him
that
once
keeps
before.
flashing guns on Instagram.
And yes, he flashed a gun recently again, VPR.
Right.
And
Yep.
here's the video of that. After him getting reprimanded by the NBA, going to a clinic for only like 2-3 days.
Who's his PR person? Hit me up.
And then they caught him using Chat GPT, the AI thing, for doing his response, his sorry letter. So I'm just like, you're making it worse for yourself. Not only did you get caught like a month ago, not only did you have they say you pulled a gun on a 17-year-old allegedly. Not only did you flash a green beam through at another NBA team's bus,
right?
You got caught on video again with a gun.
So he doesn't seem to understand what being an NBA shooter means. It's not
an NBA shooter
kind of shooter, right? We need you to swish, not
follow through, not dump shots, and I must
lay it up, pick and roll, right? Not pum.
That and Kiana, I'm not here to tell somebody, and it's an off season. You know what I mean? They can't have somebody that's going to be with them. Hell, what's going on, Velvet? They can't have somebody that's going to be with John Morant all the time, you know, whether it be a driver or a handler or whatever the case may be. But you playing your way right out of the NBA, my brother. Like $200 million, you got deals with Puma, you got deals with Powerade.
It's about to be over.
You don't want to be in the trenches, my brother. I know you might have come from it, you might have not. That ain't for me to judge, VPR.
Right.
But bro,
saying he's not even, let's put this comment up, he's not even from the hood. A very sad wannabe. Loads of kids from that neighborhood would love to be in his spot. And you're absolutely right. And it's so sad that, again, right, with the hip hop culture, with like athletic, professional sports, you get like this association of violence, or particularly with our Black people, you get that stigma again of like being the domestic violence partner or being the person flashing the gun on Instagram. Like, stop this. And not just that, it's bad for the camaraderie of the team, right? You're bringing down your entire team with your behavior, your entire team, bro.
And you're the star player. And at worst, it's like you have a daughter, you know? And I'm not pum pum. Yeah, it's just like you make all this money and you want to be the tough guy. It's like rappers want to be ballers want to be rappers.
Right.
And that shit don't make no sense, bro. 200 million and you trying to go back to the hood. Now you got everybody online reaching out to you. You got gangbangers from LA saying, yo, since you want to do that, come over here and tap in. So we could show you what this gang life really about so they could tap your pockets.
Facts. I like your West Coast accent, FMI. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? You should hear the British one, the UK one. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Thank you. Hey, JD, and hey, Jacob. We appreciate you for watching.
To everybody that's tuning in right now, I appreciate you guys. Subscribe to our YouTube when you have a chance.
Please.
But and Kiana, with John Morant and just like the Chef G situation with New York, I just think, I hate to sound like the old head, but I have come to terms, VPR. I am an old head because it seems like old heads have sense. All right.
You've always been an old head, even when you were like a baby, like 21. You know what I mean? Like you were an old head. You've had this quiet, mature, logical way of approaching life for a long time, FMI.
Hey, I try my best because I look at these young men and I see myself, VPR. I would be lying to you if I said I didn't see myself.
Right.
Because they're around the same age, a few years back. But it's all the choices that we make. And I'm tired of seeing people that look like me or want to go in this industry, think they have to do these activities to be accepted in this culture. That's what I'm trying to get that stigma off of, VPR. So they get new contact 47. Yeah, they still sign a deal in July. Look at that. Look,
he about to get that deal off.
We talking quicker than anything
Off
else.
the table. We love his spirit too, Velvet, for sure, and we love yours as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. So also, I was watching the internet, and I want to break this down, Kiana. Like, I really want to think about it. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you this clip. And I want you to react to it. I'm not even going to say a word, VPR. Watch Kiana's reaction, watch your face, and then we'll go from here. And you guys can help me in the comment section as well. Let's do this.
We appreciate it. We about to be making over back to cities. So we work really hard to make it. We appreciate you. We appreciate it. We about to be making over back to cities.
Okay, so why is it that he left? Because I could barely hear what he was saying. You know, Lil Wayne already got the accent, and he'd be speaking a little druggy, a little drug laden.
A little druggy.
Yeah, it's so hard to hear.
So what happened was Lil Wayne was finishing his last act in LA of his tour, and normally with a Lil Wayne set, if you haven't been to one of his shows, he actually opens the show. Lil Wayne opens his own shows. He'll perform for 30 minutes, and then he'll take a break and have whether two artists come out. I know at this show he had Twitch that you've seen on stage. I'm not too familiar with, and someone else. What happens in this video is after, of course, him opening the show, he's tired. He goes back for the rest. He brings out the other three artists to buy him some time. The crowd isn't really reacting. So he comes out during his artist set and says, hey, we're not going to do this. We don't have to break our back, bend our back, this, that, and the third for them. We out of here. Puts down the mic and he's gone.
Okay.
Mind you, he only did a 30-minute set so far into a 2-hour set that people pay for. Last
you actually do, right? You're providing a service. People are purchasing a product. It's not something tangible, right? When they're purchasing an album or something that's tangible. But the fact of the matter is that ticket equals your performance. And unless there's some sort of extenuating act of God type of thing that happens, you need to be up there and perform. Guess what? We've all been to shows where the opener is better than the main act, right? Or vice versa.
And
like,
just to add, he was 3 hours late too.
Oh, come on.
Not 1 hour late, 3.
And we spoke about this. What concert did you say you went to? And a lot of the artists didn't even show up. This is
the Legends of the Street tour.
Right. Terrible.
Where the hell is 2 Chainz? I'm still waiting for Gucci Mane.
He's still waiting for Chainz.
Over $1,000 on that ticket, VPR. Floor seats, man. And they're going to not tell me that these people are not showing up and it is not going to show up. And then you bring out Fabio.
Right. I think there's a lot that needs to be talked about with those terms and conditions. We can't talk about everything. I know the whole Dwayne Wade. Yeah, that's a whole like I want to get into that. But Mr. Breeze has breezed on in. And so we want to bring him up because there's always a lot to talk about. President of the Hip Hop Fraternity. He's doing it all big.
James in the building. Mr.
His
CB.
name is ringing bells and afar. How are you this morning, my friend?
I'm good. I just want to thank you guys once again for having me. Was this the third time?
Fourth, I think, actually.
I'll tell you one thing, James. I done
one
seen your setup change.
Oh yeah. I think I got a couple more of these since last time I seen you guys.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that now. And the mic.
Right, it's the entire wall full of just like.
No, I don't have any more space. I have like 4 on the floor right now that I need a bigger space now.
Yeah, that's time to upgrade.
But let me tell you, one thing Reverend Sharpton told me years ago. He said, "Listen, just do the work, and everything else is going to fall into place. And everything is going to come." And that's what's happening now. It's been happening for a while, and that really just keeps me focused on doing the work. Accolades, money, all this stuff comes when you're doing the work, especially in the work that you love to do. I tell people all the time, if you don't love it, don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
You're investing so much of your time and so much of your energy into what you do. And I even say that's for my children, which, right, like they're privileged, you know what I mean? Because they haven't had to become 18 and be forced out, or you work and you spend your own money because you don't have to pay bills, right? Like, I want you to figure out what you want to do with your life and go live it happily from this age versus waiting until you're in your 20s and your 30s, possibly your 40s, right? Some people don't even figure out what they want to do with their lives until they've been miserable for 35 years. So if you can be set on that path to start with what you love, it's so important. And everything that you do shows. And that's why you're running out of, you've got more awards than you do wall, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's that's a good problem to have.
Yes.
We need a house at this point. We're gonna get to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's coming real soon. That's coming real soon.
So let's talk about where do we start? Do we start with the Hip Hop Fraternity? What do you want to ask him, FMI? Let's dig in.
Honestly, VPR, this guy does so much. So I'm just like, I'm gonna slightly ask him, what have you been up to? And watch how this unfolds, VPR. Just like this.
Just like
okay, so I know, right? That's a trick question that usually goes for about 15 minutes. But no, recently, man, I've been doing so much great things. We got the Hip Hop Fraternity, of course. That's like been my brainchild, and the original brainchild of CEO and founder Ken Ivey, also known as Pimpin' Ken. He's the one that brought me in and gave me an amazing opportunity to become the president and national spokesperson of this organization, man. And I tell people, everything in life, opens up portals of opportunity and understanding. Like a lot of the stuff that I was already doing kind of led me right into this. I couldn't even had imagined, if I would have said, okay, this is what I want to do, it probably wouldn't not have equal to what I'm doing now. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, 12 years ago, I couldn't imagine what would happen to me as becoming someone that started opening Reverend Sharpton's show in front of millions of people. I it just didn't come to me to say this is what I want to do, although it was so much bigger than what I wanted to do at the time, that what I wanted to do wouldn't have even registered on the radar. And this what I'm saying to you is, sometimes you can't even fathom or ask for something that God has for you bigger than what you could have imagined. You know what I'm saying? When I the Hip Hop Fraternity, I was so amazed by what this organization represented. I said, wow, this is amazing. And even at that time, I didn't register the fact that I would one day become the president and national spokesperson of this organization. So, same thing with Street Corner Resources. Sister Aisha Sekou is like a mother to me. And I remember before that organization existed, and I'm a visionary who has great foresight, but what happened with that was bigger than we even imagined. We didn't know we was going to have one of the biggest contracts out of the mayor's office on cure violence.
I want to delve into that more, because I know last time you were here, we did talk a lot about the Hip Hop Fraternity. We talked a lot about your act.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that nonprofit and nonviolence. Nonviolence. We were just talking about all of this violence and what just happened in Flatbush, right?
Oh yeah.
This messaging. So let's talk about that nonprofit and how you're involved.
Okay, so Street Corner Resources, anti-violence organization, founded by Sister Aisha Sekou. Man, she had created an initiative for anti-violence work before this organization started. And the way me and Sister Aisha Sekou connected, I was, like I said, opening up Reverend Sharpton's show with the Black History Civil Rights speech every Saturday at that time. And after I got done with my speech, she would come on and give the anti-gun violence update. So she would basically give a number, a chart, representation of gun violence statistics that were going on in New York City at that time. And after the show, we would go to Sylvia's and we would have lunch and talk about what we could do outside of the National Action Network and outside of what everybody else was doing in order to increase, the awareness about gun violence, because at that time she was the chair of the anti-violence committee for the National Action Network. So she brought me on to the anti-violence committee, and we started really working together a lot. And from there, we started hitting the streets, doing the Occupies, doing the Lions. Now the Occupies became really big because it really brought awareness to the issue. People are like, oh my God, these guys are, out here all night with the bullhorn. So what we would do is we would go to locations where shooting took place, and we would gather with people, who were with us, and get to a point where we would all have T-shirts on, and stop the gun violence and all that, and we would be at that location where somebody got shot, and we would be on the bullhorn, calling people to come outside and stand with us in your community where the shooting took place. And
right,
people, first people like, man, y'all crazy, because we were disrupting the flow of drugs being sold and everything.
That's right.
And in the beginning, it wasn't, and the police was like, yo, man, we can't protect you guys, so y'all want to be careful.
Right.
We was like, listen, we remember that the movie The Blues Brothers?
Yes.
When they said, man, we're on a mission from God, and people thought they was crazy, but it was real. They were doing something that was so beyond, understanding with a lot of people. They said, yo, you guys are crazy. They're like, no, we're not crazy. We're on a mission from God. And at the end of that movie, you see that everything that they were going to came to fruition and was so big. But if they didn't have that foresight and that vision, it could have never happened. Them saying they're on a mission from God is what kept the momentum going in their head. Like, yo, we're willing to die for what we believe in. Although that was a movie, the vision was bigger, and what they were saying was so much bigger than they probably even understood. So we were in the same capacity of doing this work to the point where we didn't care if our lives were in danger, because this is something, because so many other people's lives that were in danger had ended because there wasn't enough of this going on.
That's right.
So the Lions brought a lot of attention and really got us on the radar of the mayor at the time. He's like, wow, these guys are doing all this stuff without a budget. And we got people with a budget that are not even doing this kind of work. So that's how we kind of got on the radar properly, and were able to start getting these contracts that we needed to do this work on a whole nother level. Now we're 4 locations throughout Harlem. Our catchment area has one of the best ratings, which is actually accredited by the mayor's office for lowering gun violence in our catchment area by up to 70%. Okay. And that's a direct reflection of the work. And when I say the work, we have teams that literally canvass the streets every single day and approach and talk to active shooters and gang members every single day. Okay. We have a certain percentage of those active shooters and gang members that are now employed with us. Okay. You know why? Because as amazing as I speak about this and as much work as I've done, I still cannot reach someone who's in the active state of gang mind activity. You see what I'm saying? So I need somebody who was a gang member, who was a shooter, who's a felon who came out of prison and served time. They're more receptive to listening to them than me.
That's right.
And I understand that. So I said, you know what? The best thing I could do is get those people in front of those kids.
That's right. Because a lot of people don't understand, right? Even when it comes to, when you break it down to like school bullying, right? There's always something bigger there. And sometimes it's just that connection. It's just people being able to talk about the pain that they feel, the pressure that they feel, feeling like they're backed up against the wall and they don't have any other options, right? Sometimes it's just offering someone the ability to think further or to think about opportunities or giving them an opportunity. So that's tremendous, because we always talk about each one teach one, but that multiplication level is tremendous and it's so needed, particularly in our communities. So I definitely applaud you guys on the work. And there's a new center that's going to be opening, right? In August, you guys are going to be doing the groundbreaking.
I need to send John Morant to HFS. I gotta send John Morant. He can't blow that bag. He need to meet you, James.
Yeah, can y'all talk
need to change his life.
Okay. Yeah, no, listen, whoever you got, send them my way. And in fact, you said you got kids too. We hire more teenagers than anybody except for the summer work program.
Right.
Okay. like you know, and we have a serious scholarship program right now. Right now we have 16 children in college at this time.
Amazing.
Okay, and we made sure that, and we even have opportunities for those children to get paid as they're on campus, you know, for interacting with programs we have online.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So we have so many
opportunity, right?
Yeah,
so many opportunities for kids. Anybody has children, definitely you know, reach out, streetcornerresources.com, Street Corner Resources on Instagram, Facebook, any one of those. Street Corner Resources, you can just Google Street Corner Resources and everything will pop up.
Right.
You know, with all the programs.
Again, I know it's scrnyc1.org.
You guys are holding like communities accountable for their
Yeah,
actions
yeah.
as far as in that realm, and that we need.
Yeah,
Really.
directly. You know, especially with this gun violence issue, it's such a big issue, man. Like I can't even stress it enough. And that's what made me really dive into this and head first and say, we got to do something about this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So what's next? I know you got a bunch of events that are coming up. I mean, this is going to be a busy season for you.
Oh man. Well, my birthday's on Sunday.
That's
and
right. You got a big party.
I'm trying. So, well, no, you know, I had to cancel that party because the venue, the Alhambra Ballroom, you know, is a big, beautiful venue, and that's where we were gonna have it. So the promoter called me like, "Yo, man, we got to change the venue to a venue in the Bronx." I'm like, "Oh, nah, you know, no disrespect."
No disrespect, right?
I'm like, no, listen, man.
Nobody don't want to go to the Bronx unless they're
you. No disrespect, Velvet, I love you. Pudge, I love you. You're like probably the only people I will travel to the Bronx for. You know that.
Oh, man.
You know that the love is there if I'm coming to the Bronx.
No, man, I can't do it. You know, my ambiance is like Harlem. You know, the Renaissance. You know, I can't afford for somebody. My people's like, "Yo, man, we got robbed trying to come to your party." I'm like, "Whoa." No. I love the Bronx. As a matter of fact, I'm the vice president of the Strong Enough Achievers Foundation in the Bronx. So it's not an issue like that. I'm just playing, but you know, it's just, it was too short notice. I wouldn't be able to really get everybody properly, straightened out.
Makes perfect sense. But what are you gonna do for your birthday instead?
Yeah.
Oh man, my family wants to do something. My friends want to. It's crazy. So I really don't even know yet. I wanted to do a party, but now I'm kind of glad I didn't do it because it was such a hassle already. Just I'm like, yo, listen, talk to my guy who got the tickets. I don't sell tickets. You know, like normally, and you know, another thing with me is, I used to be a promoter, you know, and I did a lot of big parties, China Club and all these other clubs. And I didn't like to charge people at the door. That's one thing I never liked to do. I never even was affiliated with anything where you had to pay at the door, because the crowd that I attract is the crowd that's going to come in and buy some bottles in VIP. You know what I'm saying? So I the whole rat race at the door thing, I don't like that whole vibe anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I really wanted to do a big 40th birthday party, but like COVID killed it. Like COVID hit in April, my birthday was in May, and I said, at some point in time, I'm gonna do what they call a 40 do-over.
Right.
But right now I'm just so focused on work. Matter of fact, I'm filming a movie the day after my birthday now, so I can't even really celebrate too hard. You know what I'm saying? So
remember those lines.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
No sunglasses and Advil on the set. And speaking of, let's talk about that, because for those that are just seeing you for the first time here, you've probably seen him on television and the movie.
Oh man, I did so many TV shows and
crazy.
And films. Right now I'm starring in this film that we're producing. I'm playing a multi-millionaire who's owns a chain of hotels and restaurants. And I found, me and my wife, we have like a crazy relationship where we've been married so long that the love is gone. It's really about business. and I know she's messing around with some young guy somewhere, and I got like two girls over here,
Right.
but I'm so focused on business. And now some investor finds out that our marriage is not what it's supposed to be, and this guy infiltrates and tries to get my wife to, literally rip me off and all the stuff. So
Ooh.
I find out about it, and we straightened everything out, but it's crazy because looking at a lot of um, married couples now, and that's a whole nother show in
Right.
itself.
It is.
But it's sad how marriage is not what it used to be, and once the holy matrimony aspect of it is no longer there, then it constitutes a business arrangement.
Right.
Anything that requires a license is a business,
Right.
and when I started doing the research and finding out, a family court judge's pension is totally contingent upon garnishing money from men in divorce proceedings. And I know that sounds crazy, but there's actual. I'll send you a link to where this is
Usually you be
documented.
quoting the CFR 0.27.
Yeah, no, I got so many of those in my head. I,
Oh,
I, I don't want to give you the wrong one, but I'll send you a link that proves this to you and
I remember
proves,
reading that.
because now if you look at this, right, they did the research and found out that a mother and a father together is the best family structure setup you're going to have to get the best results with your children, right?
Right. For financial security, all of it.
Well, actually, beyond that, high school dropout, teen pregnancy, jail, death,
Right.
all these
All of
things
it. Yep.
go down by 80% if
Yep.
the mother and father in the household raising that child together.
Right.
Look at that.
Now,
VPR.
did you know that if the father is raising a child by himself, he still has the same exact odds?
Wow.
Now, with a single mother, all that goes down by 80%. I mean, up. The teen pregnancy, high school dropout, jail, death, all of that criminal, everything goes up by 80% if it's just a mother.
Right.
It goes back down by 80% if it's the mother and the father, and it's the same statistics if it's just the father.
Interesting.
Nobody wants to talk about this, but let me tell you why. Because if you know that a single mother raising children gives you such drastic statistics, but 95% of the cases, the mother's automatically awarded custody. You see what I'm saying? So that means that we're taking the probability of that child having a stability with just the father or the father and the mother to now reverting that to an 80%. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is 100% of the time.
Right. Because as a data analyst, I was
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
say, okay, but hold on.
No. Now,
Because
nothing is absolute, but
considerations of the fathers that
yeah.
don't even want to be involved in the children's lives, right?
Well, see, now, listen, they did research on that too.
So many factors.
Matter of fact, the CDC did a study that showed that Black fathers are the most responsible fathers out of any father demographic in the United States of America.
Yep.
Guess what? Nobody wants to hear those statistics either.
No,
And I'm saying all I'm saying all this because there are systems in play that benefit from separating Black families, awarding custody in different perspectives.
I would say
things
all
like that
benefit, because even if we take it further, right, you separate the Black family, you cause disunity, and it goes further than that. You cause disunity, light skin against dark skin. This one has more money than the other, and you keep breaking it apart, and now you have a whole community of color that is not just in unification with a spouse, but with one another on a whole. Right?
Yeah.
Now you've got exactly what you want, because we can't come together to build, and we can't come together to, bring our numbers to create the power that we know that we have. So I totally agree with you.
See, it goes beyond just family court, because like you said, all systems.
Yes.
Now, these are all systems that,
Jail, education, medical, all of it.
yeah, what's it called? Foster care,
Yep.
up all of these systems, and even to the school to prison pipeline and all this too, criminal justice system. Once again, and when it comes down to, I tell you, that single father rearing the children, as the disciplinary, this is why the primary effectiveness of that happens. Now, once again, nothing's absolute, but the overwhelming statistical data that comes out of this research is what proves that there is implementation for reexamination and better understanding. I just think that a lot of times Black fathers and Black men don't get the benefit of the doubt enough to be heard or seen, especially when you have a monetary incentive that could benefit from you being out of the picture. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
So when
I think because things are so stigmatized, right? When it comes to our people, it creates this division, because even from a perspective of, okay, a mother and a father split apart, right? Child support does not have to be the next stop. You know what I mean?
and you know what? Now, in that case, in a lot of cases, the inability for that mother and father to be able to work things out
Right.
is what. But see, they already know this. The stage is already set.
Yeah.
And guess what? Societal issues collectively are going to help set that stage too. You see what I'm saying? So we got to look at what can we do right now to start preventing these things from happening. Okay, we're no longer together. Guess what? This child still has to be prepared for this world and still needs a mother and father. Are we going to allow a monetary system to interject that and to interfere with the livelihood of our family and this child? Or are we going to work together? And it sounds easy, but let me tell you, I was in that same situation. And at that time, I wasn't even mature enough to do this. So this is another reason why I'm saying, I'm trying to reach out to brothers with better understanding and sisters too, to say, listen, that's not the end all be all.
Right. Definitely both, right?
Yeah.
For sure, there are cases where mothers take fathers to child support because the father's not being responsible. But
Yes.
for sure, there are cases where mothers take fathers to child support just to get them back for something that might have happened in their relationship, right? And that's a very foul way of being, or even using children as bait. So, if you don't pay for this or you don't do this, you won't see your child. It's not ever going to be of benefit to the child. When it comes to co-parenting, you guys are no longer together. All of the stuff that happened in the past, you need to go to therapy to work through it, just so you guys can communicate amicably. That's going to be what benefits your child, because guess what? Even when you're not together, they still see how you relate to one another, how you speak to one another, disrespect one another. This is what you're teaching them, right? This is what they're going out into the world now to speak to other young women and other young men with what they see in their household. So don't think that just because you're not together that it still doesn't matter how you guys interact with one another.
Okay, Kiana, look, I want to come back on and do a whole family segment. Okay.
I'm enjoying the VPR. I'm almost like we podding right now. This is amazing.
No, I do a whole, and it's part of my book that I'm writing too.
Yeah.
The family structure and how important it is for us to get back on track with that. But like I said, I got a whole conversation that we could do just with that.
So many, such a gamut of topics, right, to cover, and never enough time. We're like the awards that can't make it to your wall. We'll get as many in as we can.
But I really want to talk about Hip Hop Fraternity and Strong Enough Achievers Foundation real quick. So the Hip Hop Fraternity, like I said, for those who didn't see the last show I was on, is a think tank, an incubation for up and coming artists, hip hop artists who are desiring better resources, better understanding, and more of an equal playing field. Okay. When I say think tank, a lot of times the word think is not involved with entities of color, especially African American entities. So that's one thing. And in gun violence, one of the things we tell the try to get the youth to understand is you want to think before you pull that trigger. You want to think before you allow anger to overwhelm you, because the consequences behind your anger could cost you 25 years in life or could cost your life too. So thinking is something that I'm always encouraging people to do in order to prevent things from happening, to counteract things, or to increase your ability to progress in a situation that could help you. So the think tank, 95% of white organizations have them. 95 of black organizations don't. And, when I was young, I used to do surveys, and I used to think I was getting over by making $50, $100 for answering a couple of questions. Then I said, you know what? These guys are actually coming off more than me, because the questions I'm answering are allowing these guys as a think tank to rationalize and identify with their demographic more directly, allowing these guys to get a better product, allowing them to understand more instantly where they stand in the demographic market. Black people, a lot of times, we're so interested in trying to save money, take a shortcut, and get over. That mindset is not a long-term strategic methodology of success. And we have to understand that when it comes to black businesses, we have to be more mindful of the legacy. We have to be more mindful of generational wealth, and more mindful of longevity in business that allows us to be in an ownership position and a leadership position to teach others about progressing on a business level. Without that, we're going to be a bunch of short-term goalers who are going to be statistically in the same circle of digression. So the think tank, implementation already starts to adjust your mind into success and longevity, and understanding how important it is to know where you stand on a demographic market. So the think tank allows us to bring in new ideas, allows us to create a solid infrastructure, and look at, how we could help each other, help our community, and be collectively successful. You know what I'm saying? So now, with the directive being hip hop here, we started seeing how a lot of these hip hop artists were, getting ripped off with these record deals. How a lot of these guys were, not looking at contracts that are more focused on the life insurance policy than their career. You see what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother conversation too. But it's relevant now because it's happening, and we're seeing, like, oh my God, they'll give me just enough money to flash on TV to get me killed, and then the conversation is about the life insurance policy. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we even started seeing artists that were committing crimes, robberies, scam artists, just to get into the studio to be able to finance their career, pay for studio time, and things like that. We're like, you know what? We need an incubation of resources to connect these artists with in order to help them, teach them about contracts, teach them about royalties and publishing. These are things that, just like, in school, they'll never teach these kids in school how to do credit, how to balance the checkbook, right? Because or anything about building credit, because they need those kids at 18 years old to be as clueless about credit as possible. Send them that credit card so they can start damaging their credit immediately. Yep. This is a trap. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? The same kind of trap that they go through in the music industry. They don't know, over every year, over 1,000 new artists are going to be signed and become a write-off for these labels. Yeah. So you said, well, whatever happened to so-and-so? He got a deal, right? What happened to him? That cat is back in the hood. Yeah. And guess what? He's too embarrassed to tell you that he got dropped by the label after he became a tax write-off. Right. Because this been happening for so long. Not anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we're educating these guys. We're giving them an opportunity, to be involved with an entity, the hip hop, fraternity. It's not a Greek structured fraternity, but it is a fraternity of brotherhood and camaraderie that offers resources and understanding about what your reality is as an artist in the hip hop world and in the music industry. So we got a bunch of different programs, like I said, where, Uh, we're launching a couple of great new initiatives. One of the things that we're working on right now is we just launched a radio station. All right. And now, once again, www.thehiphoffraternity.com. Once you go there, it's like your computer's going to like start illuminating and everything's going to be magical because all of the information on there, all of the network on there, all of the bells and whistles are real. You know what I'm saying? And when I say this, we have a radio station on there right now. We have a clothing line right now. We have a magazine right now. We have an award ceremony that we do every year. Matter of fact, I just came from co-hosting the second annual Hip Hop Fraternity Awards. And let me tell you, I was out in Atlanta for the first time in a long time, and I had so much fun because I got to finally meet in person so many people from all the 40 chapters that we have around the United States. Right. And when I say 40 chapters, this is real. We even have a chapter in Africa and a chapter in Haiti.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So we're expanding within the next 6 months. We're probably going to have about 5 more chapters. Okay. And we have a New York chapter right now that I'm in the process of overhauling and making some adjustments. And of course, Kiana, you're going to be one of those new changes. And DJ FMI, you too. So you guys are going to be incorporated with this, man. And it's going to be so big. When I say big, we're already projecting the third annual Hip Hop Fraternity Awards. We're going to be doing the Fox Theater in Atlanta, which is a big deal. Yeah. We're going to be. We're not announcing the artist yet that's going to headline the whole thing. But one of the biggest things is we're going to really highlight and blow up the up and coming artists that are down with us that are going to be performing in front of that artist as well. And that's one of our biggest things is, our artists getting out there and shining and getting their thing to the next level. And collectively, we love to encourage and empower the artists that are down with us. Anybody who's an artist can be a part of this. Like, say you live in Colorado. We got a Colorado chapter. You can connect with that chapter. They'll bring you in. You'll get to perform at the weekly showcase that we do in every one of these chapters. You'll get to be involved with a network that has DJs, producers, promoters, and even A&Rs who are on major radio stations. You know what I'm saying? You will eventually get to a point where your music will be played on the radio. Your music will be featured on this or a part of that. We have HHF mixtapes that we're rolling out right now that are going to be, played by these top DJs and program directors too. So, this is a serious network, that's giving opportunities to up and coming hip hop artists. We also have programs for producers and engineers too. Once again, it's a network and it's a collective. So even myself, I've taken a lot of my internal resources and brought them in to be able to help, up and coming artists. I've been doing that individually for so long. I said, you know what, let's do it collectively and create an umbrella where all these up and coming artists could be under. Now, one of the things that we do encourage is positivity, no cursing, no bullying, because when you can create, express yourself creatively as an artist without having all those elements, it challenges you, but that challenge is going to create a better you, a better artist, a better understanding, and an ability to reach more people. You know what I'm saying? So we're always encouraging that. And one thing we're not condoning drill rap. Okay. Now, I understand drill rap has a great sound, but what it stands for is black on black crime, gun violence,
crazy,
and all these things that we're trying to. So for me to endorse drill rap would be counterproductive and counteractive to what I represent as a civil rights activist, right, as an anti-violence activist. Right. So a lot of people say, well, all hip hop is not bad. And then we got to
said, all hip hop is not violent, right? All hip
Yeah.
hop
We
is
gotta
not
stop
gangster.
glorifying one section of it.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah. You know, let's bring it back, because guess what? When conscious rap in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, conscious rap, when that genre of hip hop was dominating, that was the highest percentage of black men that were ever enrolled in college in the history of the United States of America.
That's right. And that's when they brought crack to the communities.
Now, during this time, every music video you saw, they had Howard University sweaters on, Hampton University sweaters on. This is when that college sweater,
peace signs.
Yeah, you know, the black fist,
Yeah.
you know, the medallions.
Yeah.
That was black power. That was black consciousness. That was resonating, you know, to the people. This is why I'm so big on Black history.
Yep.
Because if a black child identifies with their ancestors in a positive way, it boosts their self-esteem and their self-consciousness of who they are. They're like, wow, I came from that. And that's great. That's amazing. And that's part of me. And that's who I am. So now they have a direct reflection of understanding when it comes to cultural identity. That right there cuts the chances of a pregnant teen, a high school dropout, a juvenile criminal.
All of it.
You see what I'm saying? So,
because what they show you and what they portray in the media, TV, will have you thinking that
we are the worst. We are this.
Black men are this. Black women are this.
Yeah.
No, we're queens. We've been robbed of that identity.
Yes, and so now systemically, this is the easiest way to misappropriate a culture.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying? To misplace a culture. And let me tell you, I see people all the time. Oh, you know, I'm not black. I'm Caribbean. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation that I could go all the way down the rabbit hole with. But you know what? I try my best and see. You know, I got the facts. And when I was younger, I used to think, okay, you know what?
Wait,
these are the facts.
That FMI. He said, I got the facts.
Yeah, when he prophesied, I got the facts. He's like, I'm gonna hit you with statistics and nothing but that.
Yeah, no, the facts are so deep, but you know what happens? There's even people that are not ready for the facts and can automatically sometimes take offense to the facts because now it reflects on the reality of what really is. And a lot of people are not ready for that too. So I try not to ruffle anybody's feathers, but I always challenge people to be receptive to better understanding when it comes to facts, because, you know, facts are so real. And I do a lot to dig up the facts and the statistics, because I need to know where we stand. Once I know where we stand, now guess what? I'm not just hitting you with facts. I'm also going to show you how we can make this better, and how we could. But we got to know what we're dealing with first. You know what I'm saying? We can't really go anywhere without understanding.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know how bad it is, guess what? You're never going to understand how good it could be. You know what I'm saying? So let's be more realistic about our approach when it comes to facts and statistical data in order to get a better outcome. Because at the end of the day, everything that we're doing is an effort to get a better outcome. You know what I'm saying? So collectively, we just got to be more real about where we stand in our approach, because then we'll be in a better position, you know. And I don't want to go too far from that.
You once again, James, you stole the show.
Oh my God, it's not over yet, is it?
It actually is.
Oh my!
You steal the
okay,
show.
all right, real quick. Let me just say something about the Strong Enough Achievers Foundation.
Yes.
Okay, because the Strong Enough Achievers Foundation. Okay. Oh my God, damn. All right, real quick. The Hip Hop Fraternity. We are also implementing a new initiative that's going to be rolling out the Hip Hop Fraternity Hall of Fame. Okay, we're going to be reaching out to a lot of hip hop artists to get memorabilia and to really create this thing big. So I'll do a whole nother show for that one.
We don't need to keep trying to hit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh my God! Look, look.
Yo.
Look, DJ Kool Herc just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, an amazing feat.
And I'm like, wow, Now guess what? There is
And Missy.
hip hop. There is a Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 1992 it was launched. I saw the brothers interview. It was great and everything, but it hasn't really been doing anything actively in the last couple of years. And I'm trying to reach out to the brother to see if we can collaborate on some stuff. But we also have to start taking initiatives too. So we've already started the process of launching the Hip Hop Fraternity Hall of Fame, which is going to be based in our headquarters down in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to interfere with anything going on up here. But we need Atlanta really has a solid infrastructure for hip hop as well. We're also going to be doing a Hip Hop Fraternity Museum. So that's going to be a collaborative, conjunctive effort as well. So that's just a little highlight on that. We are rolling out the Little Boosie documentary right now, and it's going to be an amazing production. I'm actually featured on the documentary.
Boozy?
yeah.
I'm there with Boozy, badass.
And no, that's one of the things that we're working on right now. And see the premise. Okay, so myself and brother Ken Ivy, Pimpin' Ken, helped Little Boosie to get the book deal. Okay, so that book he just wrote Across the Tracks, that was an effort that we helped to get him the book deal. So we also initiated this process to document the making of the book. So this documentary is based around him writing the book and what it took him for him to make this book possible. And in the book, he's talking about him being on death row, him beating cancer. See, a lot of people don't even Boosie beat cancer. You know what I'm saying? Which statistically, a lot of people don't even overcome that. He also has a whole humanitarian effort, and a lot of people say, "Man, why are you doing the?" Listen, if you really understood all that Boosie have done to help people, feeding people on so many different levels, buying cars, paying tuition. These are the things that people don't hear about. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is, in the early inception of Hip Hop Fraternity, Little Boosie was one of our first celebrities who endorsed us and got our name out there. You know what I'm saying? When he didn't have to, we didn't have a budget to pay him to do that. But, he worked so closely with, Pimp and Ken and myself, and he loved what we were doing with it. He said, "Yo, let's go." And he openly endorsed it. When he was on Little Boosie was on Drink Champs, and he's hollering out Hip Hop Fraternity. You know how many people saw that episode and went online and Googled it and went on our website and signed up just because Little Boosie kept saying it while he was on the Drink Champs episode?
Okay, so now Street Corner Resources.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Say it again.
I said Street Corner Resources. I know you wanted to tell us something about the organization.
Oh, no. The Strong Enough Achievers Foundation.
Sorry.
So that's Reverend Dr. Philip Jordan is the CEO and founder of the Strong Enough Achievers Foundation. I'm the president of the vice president of the Strong Enough Achievers Foundation. That's located in the Bronx, and that's what I was talking about earlier. So we launched the National Action Network Bronx chapter out of the Bronx church location. And after that, we relaunched the Strong Enough Achievers Foundation, which we had launched about 14 years earlier. So now that organization is relaunched to a whole nother level. This is the one I was telling you about, the community center that we're building. So it's actually a 14-story building,
right?
That we're building right now. 103 low-income housing apartments. Under that, the first floor is going to be a state-of-the-art community recreational center, where we're going to have Master Flex came on board to sponsor the recording studio that we're going to teach the kids how to record, engineer, and produce. Right next to that is going to be the boxing gym. Professional boxer Iran Barkley is going to be coming on to run the boxing gym. Olympic size boxing ring and boxing gym. Now we're going to teach the kids the discipline of boxing and also how important it is to live to fight another day instead of just shooting all the time. One of the biggest reasons why all the shootings happening with our youth is because nobody knows how to fight anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because guess what? That's another thing that has been demonized, is a lot of the young male aggression activities. Not saying aggression, but boxing in itself is, some people look at it as a sport that's violent and vicious, and they don't want it to happen, but they don't understand that boxing, and scrimmaging is a part of life for young boys who are becoming men, and they need to practice in order to be able to defend themselves. So there is an art and a discipline to boxing, and it's not so much just a violent sport. So by banning and demonizing these so-called violent sports, guess what happens? We don't have a demographic of young males that are able to properly defend themselves. So they have to seek other measures. And I'm not justifying anything here. What I'm trying to explain is how important it is for young men to understand the discipline of boxing and also be able to defend themselves. Okay? I'm not condoning violence at any level. And this is the reason why we have professional boxer R.S.M.G that's going to be teaching the discipline of boxing and also the art of self-defense at the same time. It's a well-calculated structure, and if done properly, you're going to get a good result of self-defense and discipline. The other side, we're going to have the Career Center, which we're going to be certifying the young boys how to become electricians, plumbers, and carpenters. Okay, now I'm going to tell you before, there was a systematic approach to take all those programs out of schools because that curriculum directly presented a threat to the school to prison pipeline structure. Because now you have young black and brown males who are certified with a trade that's going to allow them to support themselves and a family. Okay, guess what? That takes them out of the prison, school to prison pipeline market now. You see what I'm saying? And they've systemically shut down a lot of these programs, taking them out of the schools. Years ago, and I've been asking for years, what happened? Why aren't we putting this back into the schools? It also interfered with a lot of the unions who were, trying to prevent blacks from joining the unions too. It was a whole progression, but it just never benefited. It always took away, and then didn't allow us to progress and vie for solidified jobs that could support oneself and a family.
VPR James has been busy as ever. And with everything that's going on, I can't wait to send all of our followers and viewers to the Hip Hop Fraternity so they can sign up for everything, because what you guys got going on there is beautiful. The age of rappers signing 360 deals and crying about it later and becoming a write-off and then still having to pay that back is going to be over if we have.
Yo, look at when Prince did an interview, and he said that the label sent him a bill for $85,000. And he said, hold on, this bill is for studio time. He said, I recorded my whole studio at my house, in my studio. Right. Why are you sending me a bill for $85,000? What he didn't realize was in the contract, it said that whether you recorded it in your house or not, you still have to. And he was like, wow, this is crazy. So just imagine somebody that doesn't have a studio of their own. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna be out of $85,000 regardless, and it's probably up to $150,000 by now, because this was years ago.
Maybe
you know what I'm saying?
You guys make sure that you visit the hiphopfraternity.com. Don't forget the word.
Yes, the hiphopfraternity.com. That's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
We got the magazine, the radio. Oh, matter of fact, I'm gonna talk to you guys about putting all your radio archives on here too. Okay, that's something we could do as well.
All right, let's chat about it.
Talk about it.
All
Let's
right.
talk about it,
So
guys.
yeah.
Make sure you tell James. Make sure you tell everybody where they can find you at, where they can reach you, DM you if they want to speak. All that.
Yeah. James C.B. Gray. Okay. All across the board. You could even go to Google and just type in James C.B. Gray. I got the whole page. All right. Instagram, Facebook. And see, that's another thing I'm always telling artists and entrepreneurs, business people, centralize your handle to where it's the same all across. People don't got a lot of time to be digging for this and digging for that and having these crazy long, as simple as possible, as short as possible, the better. But I encourage you to put your name in there or your company name in there, and it makes it a lot easier because that's the way that Google platform is set up with the analytics and everything. It really works for you so much more if your name and your handle is the same on every platform.
Absolutely. A little free branding and marketing
Yeah.
right
I mean,
there.
like
Dropping jewels.
that right there has increased my Google search, my
Absolutely.
Google Analytics by
But
like
I will tell
100%.
you, it's not just that. It's also the fact that so many people are searching for you. Because even if you were all the same, and you wouldn't be on the first page under that searchability if people weren't searching like they do. So
Oh yeah,
that all
yeah, yeah, yeah.
do
No, 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 no. It's that too. But it just makes it easier to find you when
absolutely.
you're being searched. If
That's
everything
right.
is just,
That's
and
right.
so also your website have your name in there too. It makes it a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You guys, we appreciate you every single week. And before we head out, we just want to leave you guys with a last message about love, particularly because we're on this love train. So, can you leave us with our last message about love?
Oh, love, man. I
Short.
remember when I was a kid, and I asked my father what love was, and you know what he told me? He said love is written on your heart.
Ooh,
So the first time I ever saw a real heart, I'm like, that ain't no heart, ain't no words written on that thing. And and this is me being, I was a little kid, and I'm literally thinking, my father said that love is written on your heart. So when I actually saw a real heart, I just couldn't understand how this was a real heart and something's not written on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like a literal sense of progression. But love is a vibrational prospect. Okay. And harmony and nature are things that go hand in hand with love too. I think that we are so far out of nature in our society when it comes to true love and understanding that most people are never really truly going to experience real true love. And this is one another reason I'm always encouraging people to get back to the essence of nature. Um, we're experiencing so much in our society that's abnormal and delusional and not dealing with reality that it puts us farther and farther away from nature, which stagnates our love force energy in our body. See a lot of chemicals that enter the body that are unnatural, a lot of inflammation. All these things create they create instabilities in the human body. And see, and the reason I'm talking about the physical is because before you can even get to the spiritual essence and the true vibrational energy of love, you have to be one with self as well. This is the reason I quit smoking, I quit drinking, I quit eating meat. I even quit eating sugar because I wanted the physical body to be as pure as possible to be able to receive and give off this love force energy more dominantly. You
that's right.
know, so I always encourage people to cleanse the physical as much as possible and before you try to tap into any of the energies and the vibrational prospects that could enhance your experience in the physical realm.
That's
I know
right.
that might be a little too.
And
Nah,
get back to nature because I definitely
Oh,
think that that's so important. Walk into
nature.
nature. We
Oh
don't
man.
can't keep going too much because if I don't go get my kids, they're gonna call the cops.
No, don't worry because guess what? We're gonna get. I got jobs for your kids too. We'll speak on the resources. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
So we're gonna
Talk.
talk about that too.
You
You
okay.
guys
know,
make sure that you go and follow our amazing friend James C.B. Gray. And of
Yes,
course, we'll be
man.
talking further behind the scenes, Hip Hop Fraternity, so many different projects that he's working on.
HHF,
You
man.
see him on TV. And we will be talking soon, James. Thank you again.
Thank you guys. And let me know whenever you want me to come back. I got more information.
I will give you more
Will do.
time because you need
All
it.
right.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a blessed day, man.
Peace.
Always such a great show.
VPR, I'm not going to keep y'all too much longer. I appreciate everybody that stuck here for the hour and 14-minute interview that we just gave. I had a blast. Kiana looks like she had a blast.
Always.
But let me let you go so you can run out here and get your
Right. But we love you for watching. We will see you next week for another fantastic episode of VPR Radio. Vibrate high. Go connect with nature for sure. I feel like just going and walking on the beach, like get that going. And we are your favorite duo, and we love you for watching. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.